If you invest just $100 a month, that's less than $4 a day, you do that for the next 45 years between the age of 21 until retirement. Well, now if you can just meet the market returns of 10% a year, you are going to retire with over $1 million. And if you can invest even more money, let's say now you can invest $1,000 a month, well, now you are going to retire with over $10 million. So the more money you invest, the wealthier you can become. There's just one small problem. The majority of America has no money to invest. But that ends today, because in this video, I'm going to show you 7 things you need to stop spending money on. That way you have some more money to start investing or grow your investments this year, next year, and way beyond. Item number 1 is the stupid tax. This is what I call WALCO, W-A-L-C-O. Weed, alcohol, lottery tickets, cigarettes, and overdraft fees. This is the stupid tax, because this is money that you were just stupidly blowing on things that do not add any value to your life. The average person who smokes weed is spending over $100 a month on that weed. The average person who drinks is spending around $50 a month on that alcohol. The average person who plays the lottery is spending around $25 a month on that, and I'm not including sports betting and all the other types of gambling here, but $25 a month there. The average person who smokes is blowing literally $200 a month into the garbage, and the average overdraft fee last year was about $27. And many people who overdraft once end up doing it multiple times, if not a dozen times over the course of a year. Now look, heart to heart, I don't make these videos to get you to like me. I don't make these videos to make friends. I make these videos to help you be better with money. And if you're in a position where you're struggling with money and you're trying to find some extra cash so you can pay your bills and invest so you can actually have some wealth, well, this is a place, not easy, but it is a place where you can find some extra cash. That way you have more money to build that wealth. Over the course of 12 months, this will cost you $1,200. This will cost you $600. This will cost you $300. This will cost you $2,400, and this will cost you an additional $300 a year. So we're talking about thousands of extra dollars just by removing the stupid tax from your life. Item number 2 is financing your car. Financing a car is what I call a triple whammy, because number 1, you're paying interest on number 2, something that doesn't grow in value, something that actually loses value. It is a depreciating liability, and it's number 3, has a limited time span. It has a limited life, because you're not going to be able to use that car forever. And this is where you have to understand your options. Option 1 is you can buy this 2023 Mercedes-Benz E-Class for $50,000, which you don't have the cash for, but you can finance it. Option number 2 is a 2008 Toyota with 160,000 miles on it for $8,000 that you could buy with cash. Now, many people in this situation would say, I don't want to drive around in this beat up car. I've been working hard. I got a good job. Let me go out and finance this car. So what do? You go buy the car, you put $8,000 down, and now you have a monthly payment. Your monthly payment will be around $800 a month, assuming that you got some decent credit. Well, now this $800 a month is what you're going to be paying for the rest of your life. And you're going to say, Jaspreet, what do you mean? I'm going to get a 60-month loan, or I'm going to get a 72-month loan. Isn't that the rest of my life? Well, yeah, but what ends up happening for a lot of people is when your loan expires, you pay off the car, people feel weird without a car payment, and this car is also 5 years older, and you feel weird driving around in an older car. So what do? You trade it in, get a new car, and you start the monthly payment again and again and again, and it actually goes up because now, well, cars get more expensive, and now that you're buying a more expensive car, your monthly payments also go up every 5 or 6 years. So $800 a month for the rest of your life. Here, you buy this car with cash, you got the $8,000 down, you don't got to worry about it. Well, yeah, you don't have as nice of a car, but you also have cheaper gas, because this doesn't take the premium gas like this does. You also have cheaper oil changes because it's not a foreign car like this. You have cheaper oil changes, and you also have cheaper insurance because your Mercedes is a more expensive car, and it's more expensive to insure than this car is. So you get to save a lot more money. And here's the interesting thing. Now, instead of taking the $800 a month and giving it to Mercedes, you take the $800 a month and now you invest it. And let's assume you're not a very good investor. You just get the returns of the market, which over the last 100 years has been around 10% a year. So let's assume that you do this for 30 years. Well, after those 30 years, in this situation, you are going to have nothing. You're going to have a car but you have nothing to actually show for it because you've been making these payments for those 30 years. This 30 years is going to go by, but in this instance now, you are going to have more than $1.5 million. You are a millionaire here just because you decided to use your car smarter and not have that fancy car today. Now you can take this $1.5 million, go to the Mercedes store and buy the Mercedes E-Class, buy the S-Class, buy it with cash, buy a new one, and not have to worry about the price because you decided not to finance it because you understand that financing is a triple whammy. This is why it's so important for you to decide what's more important to you right now. Is it looking rich or actually becoming rich? And the reality is to actually become rich, you have to sacrifice looking rich in the first place so you have the extra money to invest. And that's the ironic part, is many people assume that if you drive around with this, you're rich. When in reality, you gotta drive around in this so you have the money to actually afford this and be rich without having to worry about the price. Now, for those of you that are investors or want to become investors, I want to remind you that I put together a brand new investing masterclass where I walk you through how you can start investing your money and find investment opportunities before the crowd. I'll show you the system that my firm and I use to find investment opportunities before they hit the headlines. It's a completely free masterclass, so if you'd like to watch it, all you have to do is register. I have the link for you down in the description below. And when you sign up for the masterclass, you'll also get Market Briefs, my free investing newsletter for investors, as a complimentary bonus. So I have that link for you down in the description. Number 3 is stop shopping at Whole Foods. When you are trying to build your financial base, when you are starting your investment journey, you got to be smart with how you spend your money so you have more money to invest. It took me a lot of time before I felt comfortable going to the Whole Foods and buying the organic blueberries. Yes, today I go to the Whole Foods. Today I go to the nicer grocery stores and I buy the organic blueberries because I can comfortably afford that now, but it wasn't always that case. And you gotta know, are you in a position where you can afford the organic blueberries or not? Because sometimes you gotta just get the regular stuff until you have the wealth, that way you have more money to invest. And there's a big difference in price when you go to Walmart versus Whole Foods. I recently saw an article that was comparing the prices of some grocery items at Whole Foods and Walmart, and let me pick a few items that you might find interesting. Number 1 are avocados. They said at Walmart you could buy an avocado for around 68 cents each, but those same avocados at Whole Foods were costing you $1.99 each. A bag of frozen broccoli at Walmart will cost you $1.49. At Whole Foods it will cost you $2.49. And a pack of bacon, because apparently Americans love bacon. A pack of bacon at Walmart is $5.12. At Whole Foods it was $6.69. Nothing wrong with going to Whole Foods. Nothing wrong with buying the organic stuff. Nothing wrong with buying the expensive luxury stuff when you can afford it. If you don't have money to invest, well, go to Walmart, save that money, take the extra money, invest it, build that wealth, then go to Whole Foods. Number 4 is your iPhone. I was in the AT&T store a little while ago with one of my friends, and they had every promotion available to get him to purchase a new phone. And it's very normal now for people to go out and keep buying the brand new iPhone, because instead of paying the new $1,200 for the new phone, you can just pay the additional $50 a month or whatever the new monthly payment is for the phone. And you don't really have to think about it because now you're on this monthly payment plan that you're gonna pay forever, because you're just gonna keep getting the brand new iPhone. You're on a lease and you're never gonna let go of the monthly payment. And people feel like they're getting a steal because you're only paying $50 a month, $80 a month, $40 a month for this new phone. But you don't realize how much it's actually costing you. Not to mention the fact that when you keep buying a new iPhone, you gotta keep getting yourself a new case. You gotta keep getting yourself new chargers. You gotta keep getting yourself new accessories, because, well, you just gotta celebrate every time you buy the new iPhone as well. But here's the thing. If you keep that phone for a few years, well, you'd actually be saving money. And if you bought a used phone, you'd save even more money, because the whole idea behind keeping you on these payment plans is when you keep making these small little payments, it adds up to a whole lot more money when you keep paying this money for the rest of your life. And so what Apple does is they're very smart. They know that if they can get you to commit to $50 a month, $60 a month, that way you get a new phone every single year, you feel like you're winning because, well, you pay $600, $700 over the course of a year when the phone costs $1,200, but now you get a new phone every year, as opposed to you buying a phone today for $1,000, or you buy a used phone for $600, $500, then you can keep that phone for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And when you keep that phone for 2 to 5 years, well, now you get to keep more money in your pocket, not to mention the fact that you don't have to keep buying the new coverages, the new covers, the new phone cases, the new accessories, the new chargers, because you have that same phone. So when you buy things, buy them with cash, buy them up front, that we don't have to worry about the payments. Now, that means you don't get to get all the new stuff every single year, but you get to keep more money in your pocket. And then when you have more money in your pocket, now go out and buy as many iPhones as you want without worrying about the price, because you can afford it without having to worry about payments. See, the majority of America loves this payments game, where just buy everything on payments, buy my sofa on payments, buy my car on payments, buy my vacation on payments, buy my groceries on payments. It's crazy. You're never gonna have the ability to build wealth when as soon as you make money, you just start spending it. I mean, you got payments every single day you gotta make. And when you got payments for everything, as soon as you make that money, it immediately leaves. Stop that. Take the money that you have and conserve it, protect it. Don't keep spending it, and buy the things that you can afford with the cash in your bank account. That way you don't have to worry about another payment again. That way you have extra money every month to keep investing and building your wealth. Number 5 is buying the Gucci. The majority of Americans would rather look rich than be rich. And I know this because back in 2021, during that pandemic era time, my wife and I were living in downtown Chicago, beautiful city. But the interesting thing, it was on Michigan Avenue, the main street in Chicago. There were all these big, beautiful, fancy name brand stores. You had the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, the whatever other brand name stores there were. And during that time, there was a line on every single store. They used to have those red carpet, like the dividers on every single store, because they knew that people have money. Remember, that was the pandemic money, the unemployment money, the stimulus checks, the PPP loans. There was just money floating around everywhere. And where did people spend it? Well, people were pouring that money into the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, the Rolex, and the Chanel and everything. So they had a line. People would wait 2 hours at noon on a Tuesday because they didn't have to work. People were just blowing that money, and it was a wild time. Because we know that people like to look rich, because it's a lot easier to do that than actually become rich. It's easier to look rich because you can finance it. You can put it on your Amex or your Visa or your Discover or your MasterCard, but to actually become rich requires you to sacrifice, which means you gotta look like you're poor, you gotta look like you're broke for a period of time. That way you can take that extra money and actually invest it. Now, I don't care what designer clothes that you want, but if you want to become wealthy, you can't keep blowing on the money on those clothes right now. You got to keep that money and invest it, and then when you have the money, go to whatever store you want and buy whatever you want with cash when you can afford it. Number 6 are extended warranties. And this one I've never really talked about before, but it became extremely apparent to me very recently because my wife and I finally bought a house. We've been renting up until very recently, but when we bought this house, we got new furniture, we got new stuff, and everything had an extended warranty plan. Our sofa had an extended warranty plan, the TVs had an extended warranty plan, the blinds on the house had an extended warranty plan. All of these things were an additional purchase that you could choose to make after you buy that thing. So you pay the $1,000 for a TV. Do you want to pay $295 for the extended warranty? You pay $5,000 for a sofa. Do you want to pay $995 for the extended warranty? You pay $1,000 for the blinds. And now the question is, do you want to pay an additional $200 for the extended warranty? And the answer pretty much every time is no, because I have my emergency savings. I have the cash put aside to protect me against an emergency. And I know that if something breaks, I have the money to be able to fix it. And I'd rather not just keep shelling out more money for all these extended warranties, because you got to understand their business as well. Because if I'm going to pay for this extended warranty, that means if something breaks and they're going to fix it, that is going to be profitable for them, because they're not going to sell me an extended warranty unless they're going to make money on me. So they're going to know that most people are not going to get any return on that. So I'd rather not deal with the extended warranty and everything, not to mention the fact that I'm a licensed attorney, okay? When you have an extended warranty, they come with these long contracts. Do you want to know why? Because a lot of things are not covered in those extended warranties. You might get an extended warranty on your sofa, but if your kid throws up on the sofa, they might not cover that. If your kid has a friend that comes over who is not the brightest and they take a scissors and they stab your sofa with it, that might not cover that. If your TV is broken because somebody hit it, it might not be covered. So there's a lot of things that don't get covered in those extended warranties that you would hope get covered, and now you're just paying this additional money. And then when you want to use it, well, you don't actually get any coverage. So they know the majority of people are not going to use those extended warranties. So buy the things that you're going to use, and I rather you have the cash because you don't spend that extra money to pay to fix it if and when that thing happens to go wrong. And last but not least is number 7, a money audit. And I recommend every single person do this. And what this is every beginning of the month, do it on the first of the month, the first week of the month, I don't care. I want you to grab all of your financial statements, your bank account statements, your credit card statements, your debit card statements, and you gotta make a sheet, whether it's on Google Sheets, your Excel sheets, paper sheet, I don't care. But you need to write down all of your income and the different sources of income, and then you got to write down all of your expenses. And I'd rather you do this on a Google sheet or Excel sheet just because it's easier to categorize, but if you really don't like that, fine. But you need to write down every penny of where your money went, because until you see it, it's impossible for you to improve it. And when you start to see where your money is going, you are going to immediately find new subscriptions that you didn't know that you had. You're going to find subscriptions that raise your price that you didn't even know that you're paying more money for. And you're going to find how much money you are wasting on things that you don't need, that you didn't know, that you can immediately cut back on. So if you have not started doing this, the single hour of work, the first couple of times you do it might take you 2 or 3 hours, but this single hour of work is going to give you an immediate ROI. Because as soon as you look at this, you're going to find places that you can cut back on your expenses without even changing your lifestyle, because you realize you're paying for something that you don't use, or that you're overpaying for something where you shouldn't be. And now you can call them up and make those adjustments that we can keep more of that money in your pocket. And there you have it. 7 places to cut back on this year. That way you can have more money to invest, to grow your wealth next year. And when you have that extra money, now you can actually start putting that money to work in your investments, because we know that investing long term is how you build wealth. And again, if you want some more resources on how you can start investing, I put together a free investing masterclass for you, and I have that link for you down in the description. According to Forbes, banks are quietly tightening up their lending standards, meaning it's getting harder for people and businesses to get a loan. We've seen this happen before. In the past, when banks would get stricter about their lending practices, it has been an indicator for an economic slowdown. And now with banks tightening the lending standards again in 2025, the question is what's coming next?